Lovely, we're live, ladies and gentlemen. It's Volatile Gaming League. I didn't think that I should put the entire name in there, so I just shortened it to VG. And Gerb has already left, so I think this is their first season. One sec, I'm multitasking here, my apologies, folks. Let's see. Sorry, folks. Anyways, best of one. Obviously, regular season. I'm not sure exactly what week matchup this is. I think it's actually just week 1. As Aspect Gaming attacks first year on Villa against Reality Insomniacs. I know Insomnia. I've casted for them, I believe, once before, so I don't know a ton about them. I have seen them play. Not super familiar, though. On the opposite side, we have Aspect Gaming. I know some of their players. I think I might know one of them from years ago, which would be interesting. I know Noopify is with them, and I know Connor, who's actually playing tonight. Hi to him if he watches the stream over. And then Insomnia has that same core of players, you know, Iconic, Cool, Gerb, and then Logic. Those 3, or maybe even 4, really, or have all, you know, been part of Insomnia, now Reality Insomniacs. So I think it's interesting that Reality has added them as a team. I haven't seen very many Reality teams recently, frankly, so I'm just glad to see more competition. Anyways, this should be a good matchup. I don't know a ton about either of these teams. I know that Insomnia likes to play rather aggressively. I don't know anything about Aspect. I know that it's the same name. Yeah, I get it. Mac and Flamesy and Pose. I get it. It's the same name. Yada yada yada. But I can't do anything about that. Villa. To talk about this map quickly. It's rather defender-sided. It is a mirror map, although not a great map for mirror, so that's why we have that mirror ban there. You know, she's particularly strong on Aviator in games. You'll see her sometimes on that first floor side and sometimes on Trophy and Statuary, but that's, I would say, less common. This is also a map interesting enough where, in addition to your classic denials, so that would be, you know, the bandit that we have here from Iconic, Mute from GZ, the Cade, which interesting enough was not banned. There's also impact tricking. So, you know, both pairs of walls into study, the triple walls over there in Statuary, the memo walls, the pantry wall, all of them can be impact tricked. So, although very few teams actually opt for that route, it is an option for teams that might want to actually protect it a different way, because that way you don't have to bring a dedicated operator to it. You could bring somebody, for example, such as Wamai, who has impacts, but also bring some valuable utility in those Wamai discs. Looking at the other 3 bans, it's interesting in that they're pretty common bans, but they're not expected on this map per se. Certainly not that Nomad ban. You normally see that more on Coastline, where there isn't a whole lot of hard breach banning, so that's why you wouldn't see a Thatch. Instead, you see that Nomad, or maybe in an unlikely event an Acer or Gridlock. Just interesting that they're going to be removing that flank wide, just to make it a lot harder here for that attacking team. The other thing that's going to make it more difficult is that Thatcher ban, actually from Aspect, interesting enough, and especially considering that there was no Cade ban, it's going to make it difficult here for them to breach a good amount of these walls. I'm not even going to say certain walls, I'm just going to make that blanket statement right now. That's going to be Jaeger there of Gerb King taking a bit of damage, trying to face off against Connor, who's on entry duty tonight, trying to make something happen there. They managed to push him off of those red stairs, but beyond that, not much else they were able to do. Match picks off Salty there. That Jocko remove does allow them a bit more security if they do decide to roam, but at this point, I don't think that that's going to be really a major option for them. Gunner going to throw down some Selmas here. He now looks to get that wall open. Gerb picks off one. Finka below here, I think, trying to clear somebody out. As, admittedly, this man advantage is back to even. Connor picks off Coolbob there. Does clear out that main hold that we saw, actually, from the Malusi. There's not a whole lot of utility to it, just that mute jammer, really, and maybe some barbed wire. But it was enough to waste some time and get some utility out of it. Fortunately, those Selmas do get a good amount of work done there, do actually allow access from Study into the objective. Logics will fall there. That'll be Ballers getting the frag here off of the red stairs. Earlier, we saw Connor clear them out. Now wants to see if they can do anything further. Iconic tries to strike back. Ballers gets a double kill. Curb gets one of his own. To adjust the Jaeger here of Insomniacs. Try and mix things up. And Ballers will push forward. Send out some suppressing fire here. So you can see they're just going to press forward, trying to pincer him out, really. They know where he is. He doesn't have much place to run, frankly. He does have, luckily, those Kona stations, and he knows generally where they're at, but he is pretty much stuck between a rock and a hard place now. Ballers tries to swing. Gerb will pick him off. That'll be a third kill for the Jaeger. Looking for the fourth, potentially. Spots Connor. Connor going to push forward here. Tries to get the kill. Looking for it. Knows where he is. Gerber's actually going to swing out now, moving behind that reinforcement right by the rotate. To see if Connor's able to do something here. Holding the angle. He does have diffuser. He does not have any frags. Does not have much else. Don't know if he has any intel left by his teammates. Not many drones left on the board here. Gerb's just going to wait it out, and time does favor him at this point. Connor going to send a few rounds through. He knows that he's over on that aviator side. Spots him. Trying to push now. Low time. Probably not able to get a plant down safely, and Gerb gets a 4K to clutch up the first round for Reality Insomniacs. Reality Aspect is attacking first. Generally, blue starts on attack. I can change it, but I don't like to. Close first round for both teams. Came down ultimately to some strong work there from Gerb, and I think, frankly, that was a missed opportunity, really, by the attacking team, by Aspect. I mean, they had a 2v1. They had him pretty much cornered. Maybe if they had that Nomad available, if Insomniacs hadn't banned that, they could have potentially stuck him in there or used it to stop one door. But they had a 2v1. If they seemed to want to go for the frag, so why not pincer him? They just sort of sat there. The other option would have been potentially to plant, have Connor go down for the plant and then have the other teammate left. I believe it was Ballers that was the other teammate left. Have him cover, but they needed to do something, and ultimately they didn't. And so as a result, it ended up costing them, which is quite unfortunate. Now, didn't really talk about that fourth ban, which is the Valkyrie ban. It's surprisingly uncommon. I think it should be more common. I don't see it a whole lot in competitive. It's a strong operator. She brings, admittedly, a decent gun. She brings nitro, and she has a lot of intel available through those black eye cameras. It can really help a team play vertical and have that additional off-site presence, or an on-site presence in that sense. So it's always valuable to have intel, and Valkyrie provides that. So it's interesting that not many teams regularly ban her. So you can see here, Aspect, I think, looking for a pantry push. Interesting approach, as they'll bring that Osa here. I think that's Connor trying to work the angle, really, through that slight angle, actually, on the door, trying to get rid of that mute. Do have hard breach through Salty and Gunner, but they're gonna have to be mindful about how they use that. Ballers picks off Iconic here. That castle will be taken down as the fuse of Salty has managed to make his way above. Now gonna start trying to wreak havoc on the objective. Logics and Gerb both get frags here, and now that cluster charge is gonna force them to actually rotate around a bit here, try and accommodate, really. It's even forcing Coolbob off the objective. They do have the Thunderbird. I don't know if any Konas have really survived. They do have one Kona left, and it's just started to recharge. That's unfortunate. As you can see, Salty going to try and continue to play above here. Does pick off Logics off that roam. I don't know why you're roaming first floor. Very few teams will have a long-term presence there. Connor picks off one, spots another one. That'll be Gunner taken down by GZ, and that's the diffuser as well. I don't know if the Thunderbird realized it, but he's managed to actually kill the diffuser holder. Now there's got to be some sort of rotate here from Aspect, and that's what we're seeing now by the two Russians in this lineup. I was going to say the 6v41 users, but alas, Salty's using the AK, and I mean, they did go get the diffuser, so that's certainly a lost opportunity, as Kubam's going to send out a Nitro, and for what? Didn't do anything. I mean, I think they still have a Kona station on site. I doubt it, frankly, now that I'm looking around. As with a minute left here, Aspect in a 2v2. They do have some utility left, not a ton. They're going to need to make something happen. Admittedly, they do have like a sort of health advantage here, and that's going to certainly pay off. Kana gets a double kill on a Kuvam. That's a just GZ. He'll pick off one, looks for the second potentially. Salty the last one left. Again, a 1v1 here between these two teams to decide this round. Salty rotating above with 30 seconds left in the match, needs to get some sort of movement down. That Banshee alerting GZ to his presence, now knows that he's over there, holding the angle, spots him. Sends out a couple rounds, maybe a per se, trying to really repel Salty. I don't think he noticed him. GZ's parked himself really in that laundry area, waiting now. Salty gonna seemingly attempt to plant, and now all GZ has to do is just get him off the plant. Low time, he's gonna have to stick it if he wants this round win. Does stick the plant, and in the last 3K here from GZ as another member of Insomniacs clutches up against the odds, against the numbers, and wins the round here for Aspect. Pardon me, for Insomniacs. Aspect the one. Unfortunately losing and probably returning to the drawing board here as they're now down 0-2 in 2 rounds that they frankly should have won. They went into the first round in a 2v1. That last round they had a 2v2, and they had vertical control. They didn't really set up vertical per se, but they had vertical control. So it's strange that they opted against playing it, or even bringing a more expansive, maybe more dedicated vertical player. I mean, they had Fuse, and obviously he's useful when you're looking to wreak havoc and get rid of utility in that sense, you know, from the ceiling above. But outside of that, unless you bring breaches, he's not very good at actually setting up angles and, you know, cutting off your opponent's rotates and just putting pressure on certain spots where people like to anchor. So in that sense, maybe a sledge in that case would have been a bit better, or a buck. And that they bring that utility that Fuse does. So you can see, looking for a side sweep here after an impressive performance on what for many teams is their tertiary site. Insomniac's own tertiary site here, Trophy and Statue Room. We'll have to see how this goes. They've decided to go with this sideline, which has become more and more popular over time on this wall here. And we've actually also put up an ADS there. I think that's going to be short-lived, frankly. But it's going to certainly allow them to hold down this side of the map more heavily and hopefully more effectively as well. As many teams, most teams, prefer to push this site by going over to Master, clearing out Walk-In, clearing out Master, probably clearing out Master Bathroom, and then opening up this wall and pushing in. Sometimes you also see pressure, or even a sort of a breakthrough on that Astra side, but more commonly you just see teams pushing in through some breach on that triple wall there, on that statuary wall. And now they're looking for some sort of split push here. They're very spread out, and frankly so is the defending team of Insomniacs. I mean, they have one player that's actually on the objective here. Baller's going to take a bit of damage. He'll actually be knifed dead by Cool Bomb on that. Roam really over on that red side. A headshot, though, by Gunner will trade him out. Now, even numbers here. I believe Gunner actually Garra'd into 90 there, just to get the jump really on Insomniacs. Exposed will pick off one here. Nitro attempted. All it really does is just scare Gunner. He's now trying to find the source of it. Logix will get one, picking off Connor. Taking down the tied for top frag player for Aspect is an ADS, I believe, taken off here. Salty's going to look for something, some sort of move to make here. I think he's hearing that mute jammer that's been set up on this wall. Unable to really break through until that's cleared out. He's going to potentially swing this Amaru Aruni, I believe an assist actually from the Amaru Gunner there, as he's now trying to pressure this trophy side, trying to take down Iconic there. Luckily, Logic's down. That's going to actually allow them to potentially push the statue. So I certainly get that wall open if they wish. Exposed sets up a crossfire, executes as well. GZ in a 3v1 now. 2v1, luckily. He hears Salty look for the plant. He'll just fire through, sends out a couple rounds again, trying to make something happen here. He's off-site, very near to the objective, though, so he could quickly make a recovery. As Gunner's covering for Salty, will get that plant down now. I think that's the second time that we've seen them get a plant, and the first time they'll actually get a round win here as Gunner picks him off. Finally capitalizing on that 2v1 opportunity, looks for the plant, gets the round off that frag, and finally able to really just win the gunfight that they needed to win there, instead of giving that final player a series of 1v1s. And they put themselves on the board here. Now, I think the difference between that round and previous rounds was obviously Insomniacs. They didn't seem super comfortable on that side, and they were playing very aggressively, which I generally think is a poor decision. And I mean, the other difference is that they were able to get a man advantage and hold on to it. I would say that they cobbled together a push. It didn't seem super coordinated. You know, you had no secondary support. You had the Thermite of Salty just sitting over there waiting for somebody to show up for a good part of the round. So he had to just take advantage of an opportunity, really. You know, catch them with their back turned, as he literally did to the Aruni. Pick them off that way. But I think they need to work on some coordination here, as it's messy, to say the least. Now, appears to be the same strategy here from Insomniacs, as they will return actually to Aviator in game. So I have to see how this goes here for Aspect. They decided to bring 2 hard breach this time. They've also decided to bring some vertical play in ballers here. We'll have to see how effective that is, as Insomniacs traditionally a very roam heavy team, and we saw 4 players technically off-site in that last round. This time they have pretty much nobody off-site. I mean, they have 1 player on the near side, that's Cool Bob, and they are starting to spread out now, so that is closer to their MO, as Connor will immediately take down GZ, and the roam has just failed there. Not much wasted, not much utility or drones wasted as well, as I think that's going to be a good roam clear there from the attacking team of Aspect. I don't think anybody's left at this point. Iconic down but not out, as he's going to actually look to inch over to one of those Kona stations, get himself self-rezzed. And the Cool Bomb striking back, picks off ballers, will actually alleviate some pressure. Admittedly, you know, Connor and Exposed both have frags, so they can still both get vertical play down and get some impact that way, but without that buck, it's going to be a lot more limited. They're not going to be able to get as many sightlines set up. They're not going to be able to open up the space underneath each wall. Salty will fall, so that's going to make it a bit harder here for them to get certain walls open. A lot less utility available in that hard reach sense. Connor will get a frag kill. Finishes off Iconic. Luckily for him, as there goes Gunner. Big kill from Gerb. Connor will actually pick off Logix. Trades his teammate out now. 2v2 here. We've seen similar situations before earlier in this half. Admittedly on a different site and a different situation, but still. Here's Connor there. The Cool Bomb swinging him. Unfortunately, unable to get anything further. Connor gets a quad kill. He's just been wiping taking him out. Double kill from Gerb. Stops Connor in his tracks. Unable to get an ace, unfortunately for him. The Finka now in the hot seat, trying to make this work. He'll push forward, now looking to get sent out a frag. Don't know why you're throwing 2 frags, but okay. I don't think that if the first one doesn't hit, the second one surely isn't. Gerb gonna now try and play the sightline actually set up by his team earlier in this matchup. Looked for the same thing earlier. Admittedly, he was playing off of punting, not off study, but unfortunately for him, falls to expose Sweets, who will get his team to 2-2 tied now. So we look to the later section of this first half. I think I should have set it to just 1 timeout request. That's just me though. I'm never sure, because I don't know if there's an official. I'm not sure if there's an official policy. But yeah, as you can see, the defending team regrouping now after giving up 2 rounds in a row. Admittedly, you know, the first round, it's their least comfortable site. They were not prepared for it, it seems. This one, they started on that site. They didn't allow a plant. I mean, we saw a clutch, I believe, from Gerb King in order to win that first round on that same objective. I guess they're now going to Aviator and Games, going to retry for the 3rd time here. But with a 1-on-1 record, and I'm sure a sour taste in their mouth after that last round, which, in my opinion, they should have won. That's just me. But after that, I think they're looking to reestablish the game plan here. Make sure everybody understands what's going on, and make sure everything's set up properly. They've been... pretty sure the official for the league is 2. I should go make sure. I'll go check.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Anyways, I'll have to see how this goes. I mean, I don't think it's a problem with the setup. I think it's a problem with the execution. They've been very aggressive in terms of the roam. I don't think the roam is being fruitful. I probably messed up grammar there, but you all understand the point. They're, you know, they have players sitting over in Memo. What team's going to push Memo? Not only is it on the wrong floor, it's also not below the objective.
10 seconds remaining.
So unless the team goes for a full clear, which I think is what Aspect has been doing, that's the only time that it really becomes useful. But, you know, other than that, I would say it's not a great decision. Truly. I mean, same thing with having Logics here down in the basement. You're basically relying on them either per chance flanking or pushing there, you know, starting a push there, which nobody does unless they're looking to push pantry on first floor, or that, you know, you'll get some sort of deep flank late in the game, which I don't think is going to happen. Because even though Nomad's off the board, they've banned a Nomad, so they've opened the door potentially for a flank. I don't think that Aspect's going to allow it to happen. What if the other team just wants to choose cheating? As GZ dies. I mean, they could be, but there's no proof of that. So... I mean, first of all, there's a delay, and second of all, I don't know, like, how would you prove that they're watching stream? As Connor gets a frag there, Logix and GZ off the round, Ballers as well dead, so man advantage gonna continue to grow here for Aspect. That'll be Blue Line getting a kill there. I believe onto the Gerb King. Swinging now, Salty looking for a second kill, unfortunately unable as Coolbob takes him down, trades his teammate out. I think Connor getting ready to push him now. Does take down that Lucy Banshee. That'll be exposed, taking down Coolbob. It's Iconic's the last one left here, trying to make something happen, but not the best situation for him to be in. Being pushed now by the tag team, by Aspect. Exposed, swings him, gets the round here for his team. And we've seen a comeback here from Aspect. I think they finally cracked the code. And that is that Insomniacs, they roam aggressively, but they don't seem to bring the gun power to back it up. You know, we see Connor out here doing plenty of work. We see Exposed as well, Gunner to an extent. All of them are getting frags here. They're really clearing that roam, eradicating that roam even, before it can even have a chance at getting value, at being useful. And part of that I would say is on Insomniacs for the way that they roam, which is not very effective, and also it's partly on them for just not winning gunfights. But the fact that they've managed to do that, and they've managed to understand how to pressure the objective once they get that two-man advantage, frankly, because that's how many roamers we're seeing here. More than that, in fact. You know, once they get that, that's when they can really press their advantage, really put pressure on the objective, and get that round win just off of collapsing the objective. Now, final round of this first half, and I expect, I'm sure they're hoping for another round here, but they're even now they're in great position. They've guaranteed for themselves an even split at half, at least. Probably more than that, as there goes Ballers with the opening kill on a Logix, getting the man advantage for his team. That Legion there, GZ trying to strike back here, holding down the line, really. Here's that Prox alarm going off, I believe set up by Iconic over on those pantry stairs. As Blue Line's again above, and now going to look to wreak havoc here. Not to see how that... And he gets a closer charge kill. Wow. That's embarrassing, in my opinion. As Gerb picks off Exposed, does bring his team a bit closer to even manpower, but still, considering Salty's still above looking to wreak havoc, he will continue to. And I think that's going to be what's happening here. As you can see, Ballers picks off another one here. And it's 2-on-3 at this point. Two remaining players here for Insomniacs have lost map control, or site control, for the most part. You see Gerb, I think, trying to retake it. But even on even numbers, it's going to be tough, considering Connor and Baller seem to be setting up some sort of crossfire here. They don't have the diffuser, which I think is why Gerb is positioned the way he is. I don't know if Kobob realizes that. He doesn't need to be defending the objective. The diffuser's down. You need the diffuser in order to play the objective. Connor now trying to take him down. He will get that frag there. And so a 2v1 developing here for Coolbob. We'll have to see if he's able to pick this round up here. Here's them nearby. Tries to push forward and taken down by Ballers. That'll be another round win here. A 4-round rally from the attacking team to guarantee themselves a 2-round advantage at half. Checking the score at half, 9-6-4-5-4, 10-4-4-3-1. Well done, Gerb, on getting double digits. If you compare the amount of kills these two teams have, it's pretty similar, I have a feeling. On the side of Aspect, it's 28 on the side of the currently losing team. The side of Insomniacs, it's 22, just about. So there is certainly a difference. It's not a massive difference, but it's pronounced enough that when we see these round wins here for Aspect, I have a feeling that kill differential is a factor in the sense that they're winning these with 2 or 3 players left, you know, forcing that 2v1, that 3v1, and that's getting them that difference. Now, obviously, it's a different matchup here, as these two teams switch at half. We're gonna have to see how Aspect defends in comparison to Insomniacs, and how Insomniacs attack in comparison to Aspect. And from what I'm seeing, it's a lot of the same. The first major difference I'm seeing is that they've decided against this side line here that sort of allows the defenders on site to challenge a study push. It is rather aggressive, so I suppose, and we've kind of seen that in their attacking aspects, a bit more conservative, a bit more, you know, slower pace, more methodical. So I think they don't really want to risk potentially having a soft wall right onto the objective. So that's the downside, is that if you let an Ash or Zoph see that and pop it, you have a wall wide open right onto the objective. So it's really a double-edged sword, and it's really dependent on how well your anchors or whoever is playing that sightline plays it. Because if you don't have somebody that's going to at least waste time and really push them back, then it's not worth it. So you can see sort of across the floor push here from Insomniac. Nitro goes out, unfortunately for Gunner, though. It's taken down there. Kobot will pick him off of 90. And I've seen not enough players playing this 90 window. It does allow you to, as we just saw there from the Hibana of Kobot, it allows you to really clear out anybody that's playing in there, assuming that you have some additional pressure. In this case, that was actually from GZ, sort of indirectly just forcing him back into 90, shutting down that Nitro and letting out some suppressing fire. Gerb will pick off Salty, and now Sight's starting to get some real pressure here. Kana gonna try and step up now, as with the Cybertruck Sight, gonna try and hold down from the top main, trying to hold down 90. Spots one over there by Headglitch, trying to take him out. I believe that's actually GZ there. Might have actually been Gerb. Could be wrong here. If they're trying to get this open, they do have now a wall onto the objective. They do have that hunting wall, and I'm sure that's going to be important later in the round when potentially losing that rotate. Kulab takes down Ballers, gets himself a double kill here. Connor now trying to potentially get himself on the board. He will take down. Kulab looks for a second, potentially, as Exposed is holding down the line here on the objective. Iconic looking for the play right there on the default. I don't know if Exposed is aware. Doesn't have a Nitro to deal with it, though, as Gerb will pick off Connor. Now pushing forward, that'll be GZ. Takes them out for a nearly flawless round there for Insomniacs. And my oh my, what a response from them. I mean, the hold there was very standard. I would say it was more oriented towards study, and they seemed to recognize that, or they played their cards right and going for sort of an across-the-floor push from Master through 90 onto the objective, which most teams don't go for, and I think more teams should go for. And as a result, he ended up winning it. I mean, they took the man advantage by pressuring out the 90 player, which is very important if you want to push that side, that you take out anybody in 90. And then Connor was sort of stifled. I don't think they did anything purposefully to result in him doing that. I think he just didn't really play aggressively enough. He just sort of sat there trying to hold a long angle, and nobody really challenged him. Sure, he had that one gunfight with, I think it was Cool Bob, just sitting right by Headglitch, but that person just sent out a couple of pot shots and left. And then once they lost that, the other thing that was really important is that once they lost this hunting wall, which I don't think they had denial on, I could be wrong. Once they lost that hunting wall, they could not do very much. I mean, they lost Connector and they lost Side Rotate because of that, and they obviously lost a player that was holding there that could very easily help protect both objectives from that single room. It's a very
5 seconds left.
valuable wall to hold or to take if you're on the attack. And so, you know, once they lost 90 and once they lost that hunting wall, it was basically over. Now, the lead here for Aspect collapsing a bit down to only 1, but they still have an advantage. Oh, it's Aspect Esports? Okay. One sec. I'm gonna do something real quick. And then it should be fixed soon as GZ picks off Connor, getting the man advantage for his team. And that's one thing that I've noticed is with these two teams, and I'd say this is generally with any team, the team that gets that first frag, that gets that man advantage, is the team that oftentimes wins the round, because they're able to control the pace and they have that extra player that allows them to, you know, play a 2v1 or at least get a trade off of the gunfight. Good. Hopefully this works. Nitro going out there, I believe, from Ballers. Unable to get anything, though, unfortunately, as he's trying to hold down the actual objective. And it's a pretty standard hold. I mean, 3 on site, 2 above is what's to be expected here. And they've wasted a good amount of time. Gunner down, but not out just yet. Knows that he's down there, so I think he's going to try and return for him later. Salty as well on the TBNO, as Exposed is pretty much the last one left here. Now, as you can see, trying to press here is Aspect, getting themselves onto the objective. They have a strong man advantage here in a 2v5, trying to recover site here. Obviously, Insomniacs moving back into dining. Salty picks off 1. GZ, however, will take down Exposed as Iconic looks for the plant now. Sending out just a range of shots. Salty gets his second kill on the round, but low health and no numbers. Skullbob will gun him out. Takes him out. Takes the round for his team. We'll go up now 4-4. Actually, tying it up here. Okay. My apologies. I thought it was gaming, not esports. But that has been fixed. The title should now say Aspect Esports. So, plenty of time here. I think I set the amount of time per timeout wrong, but I set the number of timeouts correct. So, that's good at least. As, you know, as we can see, Aspect taking a timeout. I think that that's proper. They've just given up 2 rounds. Both rounds were aggressive. We saw the attack really come out swinging, got an early man advantage, and held on to that advantage for dear life. You know, pressuring out players, forcing them back onto the objective. If they aren't back on the objective, getting the kill, and sometimes if they are on the objective, getting the kill anyways, and then getting a plant. I think that that's the way that it should be done here. If they want to beat Aspect, and they've certainly managed to shake Aspect as they're having to call a timeout to you know, readjust, recalculate, and I'm interested to see how this goes. Interested to see what changes are made here.
Bomb located by attackers. 10 seconds left before insertion. 5 seconds remaining.
see how this goes. Seems to be the same push here from the attacking team, from Reality Insomniacs, and I think realizing that's why Connor's over on the roam on this side of the map. Ballers does get that opening frag here on a geez, I think that's gonna really help halt the momentum of the attacking team, potentially provide a stopgap of sorts against them. So you can see just trying to really get a presence established on the northern side of this map. And the other change that we see now is sort of this player here in 90 is now more aware, and he's also joined by Salty here, so they're really trying to get some sort of 2v1 against them. 4-on-4, Grim takes down Gunner there. Does actually bring it back to even as he'll get a quick double kill. Takes down Exposed as well. Two high-value players taken down. Obviously, the Legion losing some of those, losing some of those goo mines as he was obviously not alive until later in the round when he might have been able to actually get that done. And then another kill is Exposed. That smoke there. 30 seconds of push denial. A lot of potential plant denial as well taken down. So that's going to really assist Insomniacs here. You can see they've managed to take control of 90, and Connor again, same position he was last time. He's over at top main. He can pressure players over 90. He is not doing so though. I think part of it is because he's worried about this player in study. The other thing is that they're operating a man deficit here. The defense, admittedly, having to deal with low time as Ballers, unfortunately for him, loses that gunfight, which he frankly shouldn't have lost. Connor swings across, picked off by Coolbomb. It's up to just Salty here, trying to make something happen. That'll be Coolbomb providing some pressure off of that 90 side. Lance stuck, he'll take down one, now gonna rotate away. Not a whole lot of health. Certainly numbers aren't on his side here, knows the one's over there by that trophy side. Just holding the angle, waiting to swing. That'll be Logic's. Free fires, takes the round for his team as well, as despite that timeout, Insomniacs continuing to roll here. Continuing their streak. This has been a game of streaks, of rallies. I mean, we saw a 4-round rally to get the defending team to get an aspect in this position, and now, because they haven't had anything since, and because this game started off with a 2-round rally, and now we're seeing 3 here from potentially more after this next round from Insomniacs. There's a chance that we could see that lead be completely reversed. It's certainly been eradicated because of this 3-round rally. It's now a 4-5 for them, so they haven't been able to put themselves on the board since that swap at half, which is also concerning, you know? This is Villa. This is normally a rather defender-sided map, and it's been a attacker-sided map this time around. But halfway through this half, being unable to even get a single round, allowing plants 3 rounds in a row, although admittedly the rounds weren't won because of the plants, they were won because of frags after the plant. It's just a bad sign across the board. I mean, they allowed a site sweep. Case in point. Almost. They allowed the attack to basically do a site sweep 3 rounds in a row. If it was the defense, it would be more impressive and more noteworthy, but still, allowing the attacking team to get 3 rounds in a row, it's just going to continue to give them motivation, continue to give them energy, really, to keep this going. Is taking a bit of damage here off that roam, as that'll be Gunner picked off actually by Logix, and again the man advantage will go to the way of Insomniacs here, they're going to continue to clear out any players that are in their path. A steamroller, really, of an attack that we've seen from them. Salty going to be pretty much their key player here, as Exposed will fall, and that's another big kill. Not only a further man advantage, Gerb picks him off, except that just Salty, with the entire attacking team against him, has to try and clutch this up, and this is not going too well for Aspect, as, I mean, just swarming the site, pretty much a site collapse. Gerbs takes down GZ, so I think that is a second or third kill on them round, and Gerb doesn't even care. He'll just pick off Salty and call that round a day. 6-4 here. We have seen 2 4-round rallies. One from the now defending team, one from the now attacking team. Well, I think it's interesting that it's been 4-round rallies by each attacking team. Another interesting tidbit is that, well, Aspect, who frankly have been struggling to get to win any gunfights and get frags, in their 4-round rally, 3 of those round wins were because they got frags. The 4th one, they got a plant down and then they got frags after it. The opposite is true here for Insomniacs. Although they've been winning these rounds because of frags after the plant, 3 of these 4 rounds they've gotten a plant down. You know, they get the diffuser on the objective and they plant it. They have the opportunity to. Not necessarily that they couldn't have just goofed around on that last round and gotten a plant down anyways. I don't think they really needed it, but it's an interesting comparison to make.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Congrats to Kobab on double digits. I believe he's gotten up there. His Gerb as well. I mean, he's been doing great work for his team. 16 between those 2 players, 26 kills. If you look at the other side, and that's equivalent to
5 seconds remaining.
that's equivalent to almost the entire roster of Aspect. If you remove exposed suites, that's 28 kills. 7, 14, 24, 28. We'll have to see how this goes, though, as last shot here for Aspect is on first floor, is on dining and kitchen, which for many teams, as I pointed out, is not their primary site. I don't believe that we actually saw this one once by Insomniacs during their defending half, so they showed that it's possible, but it is tough. This site is not easy to win on. You can see just very quickly encircling living that red side of the objective. They don't really have a vertical presence. I don't know if that's part of their plan, and I think Baller's realizing that. He's gonna just swing down, spots the Zove, takes him down. There's gonna be actually an opening pick here for Aspect, and that's a great sign for them, as they'll finally be able to potentially control the pace. GZ falls there. Double kill from the Mazu. They've left just alone on top floor. They didn't clear him out, and so now he's just going to profit. He's already gotten the secure man advantage. 3 kills from him. The Roni just destroying the attacking team here. And now this round is flipped upside down, really. Quad kill from Ballers. Looking for the ace, actually. Gerb, the last one left. He's going to try and get a 17th kill here. Try and deny that ace here from Ballers. They'll still drop down, stops the ace, but a 1v5, almost, and now actually a 1v4 situation. Here's the Nitro, sees one, gets him. He's going to need to ace in order to win this round, in order to win this match here. Otherwise, they go to a 6-5 situation. We got a 3rd kill on Salty. Now Gunner and Connor, the last 2 left, both parked over here and dining. Nitro goes out there. We're sure to be mindful of that. It's still now pushing the memo here. Gunner trying to take him down. I think Gerb gonna actually look to rotate potentially. No, he's gonna continue to press this memo side. Low time, needs to get something done here. Knows they're around there somewhere. Sends out some return fire. This Connor's just gonna wait here. Gunner a bit more aggressive. He does spot him, potentially walking into a crossfire. Quad kill, and Connor just waiting his time. Bides his time, picks his shot, picks his fight, and wins it. As I think if he had pressed him there, it would have been a lot riskier. And because he didn't, he ensured his team stays alive at least one more round here. Now, potentially the final round of this matchup. Again, you could say the same about the last round. And I'll have to see how it goes. That went surprisingly well for the defending team for Aspect. I mean, they managed to really stop the momentum of Insomniacs with that 4-round rally crushed here. I'm sure it's going to help them. I'm sure it's going to break a bit of resolve, really, a bit of momentum, favoring the attacking team. I'll have to see how it goes, though, as obviously, you know, going here to Aviator Games. I don't believe they have won Aviator Games before, but if they can win this round here, obviously a great sign for them. You know, that comeback starting up, and it's gonna really be sort of a canary in the coal mine here for Aspect if they can finally clutch this up. I don't know what's going on with the mute jammers there and the Cade Claws. They've decided to bring plenty of denial, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just wonder if there's something else potentially that they should look at. It's going to be for the, I believe, third time now, the same push from Insomniacs. Here's them open that up, takes down the Gemini hologram, and now immediately going to start getting pressured here. He's pretty much going to be playing his life. I mean, he's stuck in a corner. He'll take down Iconic Eternal anyways. Frag goes in. Going to now jump out, look for another kill. He'll get it. Aggressive play from Ballers, and they are unable to respond here. Spots him. GZ stops him. That's still a man advantage secured here for Aspect. As this has been a mess of an opening minute. Ballers, I mean, he clearly had some cojones with that play, if you understand my meaning, and it paid off. The jump out, being able to move around that frag, being able to just straight up swing the guy and get that kill allowed him and his team to get a guaranteed man advantage. You know, taking down Logix, taking down Iconic, that support sort of base for Reality Insomniacs having been removed, it's going to make it harder now for them to operate. So you can see spotting one there. I think he might actually be seeing the heartbeat of GZ above. I do believe so. That could actually be Gerb, though, and if he gets a kill here, that would be massive for this team. And that Finka Surge unknowingly helping him, actually. They do increase the range of the heartbeat sensor. Or rather, heartbeats can be detected from further away with the sensor. I think that's a more accurate way to describe it, but it's the same thing in essence. So you can see now trying to push forward here. 3-on-3. GZ will get another kill here, breaking into double digits as these three players are going to try and mount one stand here to try and put it away before overtime. Exposed down. It's going to be a big kill now. GZ with the third kill, and Gerb finishes it off. 21 kills from the IQ. Puts it away here. Hope stashed for Aspect Gaming. 7-5. Close win for Reality Insomniacs. 21-7, 11-9, 11-9, 3-8, 5-8, 11-9, 13-11, 7-11, 4-10, 5-10. That last push, finally getting Reality Insomniacs across the finish line.
Yeah. Good game.
Good game, guys.
GG.
Good team. You guys brought shit on everybody.
Father,
What? What?
you slammed my shit on the bottom of fucking